Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little. I am the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Blue. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Just My Thoughts podcast. We are broadcasting live on IG. What's up, IG? We're broadcasting live on YouTube, and we're broadcasting live on my Facebook artist page. Holla at your boy. I'm not going to take too much of your time, Sassy. What's good with you, girl? My poetry school joined? I'm honored. I got the gray hoodie, celebrating Loaded Lux. Come outside, Loaded Lux. Come outside. Battle Rum Nitty before 2025, please. Thank you very much. What's up, people? The name of this podcast is Just My Thoughts Podcast. What's tonight's title? Well, I'll freaking tell you. It's the Disney propaganda theory. The Disney propaganda theory. We're going to go abstract tonight. Not going to take too much time. This is Disney propaganda theory. So I got to give you a backstory to let you guys understand about how we got here. Well, I was thinking to myself the other day, there are a lot of movies that Disney is putting out lately with a lot of messages in their movies, and they seemed to be what's going on. Happy Friday, everybody coming in. There seemed to be a lot of the Disney propaganda theory for people just joining us, and it seemed to be in the storytelling world. There seems to be a kind of this war against good storytelling. Okay, this war against good storytelling. It's just like, man, why are they making so many terrible movies? Why is in the cinema so freaking terrible, right? Especially Disney promoting a lot of agendas to that which we not going to get into here. Thank you. The agenda, the agendas that Disney is pushing is not the point of this podcast. There is something very sinister going on. There is something very diabolical going on that I need to shine a light on. And that is propaganda. But before we talk about the propaganda campaign, we have to describe propaganda. So let's do that. Propaganda is a noun. Propaganda, information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. He was charged with disturbing the enemy propaganda. For example, if you want to use it in a sentence. How does propaganda work? Well, or the better question would be, what is propaganda's goal? Propaganda's goal is to repeat the lie until it becomes the truth. Let me say that again. The goal of propaganda is to continually repeat a lie over and over and over again until it becomes the truth. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. How many times have you heard that in your youth and you actually believed it because you heard it so freaking many times? You didn't really think about how nonsensical that statement was. Money is the root of all evil. We really believed that at one point. Many of us did, at least. I know I did, especially in younger days, until you realize how ridiculous that statement is. But you keep hearing it, you keep hearing it, and you keep hearing it, and you build this idea, which I like to call a false notion, and then all of your beliefs are built on a false notion. So you grow up really believing this is true. So be careful on what you believe, or be careful on the ideas we come up with, and try and ask yourself, is that my idea Or did somebody plant the idea here? And the reason why I want to say, and the reason why this is called the Disney propaganda theory is because I'm just going to share a thought. I read the book Propaganda 101 at the beginning of last year. It was very eye opening as to how propaganda works. And they repeated the whole thing like propaganda's goal is to repeat the lie until it becomes the truth. And they really said this kind of in an interesting way. And they talked about in this book, Propaganda 101, they talked about how propaganda really became got weaponized after the radio was invented. After the radio was invented, and people, there's a radio in every home, and soon after that, there's a television in every home, right? And they keep repeating these themes over and over and over again, right? And we are daily ingesting this information, ingesting these ideas that are not our own, okay? And for it to work, it has to be on repeat. All right. For those for those cult leaders and cult followers, one of the first things they would do on the compound was they would put speakers in every room, and they would get on, the pastor or whatever, you know what I mean, would get on the microphone every day and speak propaganda every day. Remember the movie Fight Club? What did Tyler Durden do to his followers? He was on the microphone every day. You are not special. You are not this. You are not that. He was filling their head with ideas every day. Because if you sit in your own silence and it's just you, silence, your heart's feeling, and you talking to her holiness, you might discover the truth. So, flash forward to 2023. And when you see everybody with their face buried in their freaking phone, depending on where you're getting your information from, the phone isn't the bad thing. Your iPad isn't a bad thing. Your computer isn't a bad thing. But it just depends. Are you using the device, or is the device using you? Frequency. What frequency are you tuned into? The Disney propaganda theory. The reason why I'm picking on the big bad wolf is because they released so many bad movies. I got to thinking, when was Walt Disney? When were they founded? They've been telling stories for a long time. How are they making so many stinky ass fucking movies right now? Well, Walt and Roy Disney officially began the Walt Disney Company on October 16th of 1923. On that date, Walt Disney signed a contract with Margaret Winkler, a New York cartoon distributor. Remember the first, we've all seen it on TV. The first, Mickey Mouse, the old black and white cartoon, Mickey Mouse is driving like a tugboat or something. That was the first Walt Disney movie cartoon. They used to go to the movies to watch cartoons back in the days. Crazy. So 1923. Let's do the math. That's easy math because we're about to say goodbye to 2023, aren't we? Okay. So you mean to tell me, and this is where my logic kicks in, you mean to tell me that Walt Disney, the company, the corporation, the monstrosity it has become since the days of Mickey Mouse riding that damn tugboat, you mean to tell me y'all have been telling stories for 100 years and y'all suck at it right now? Really? So what's the agenda? So I got to thinking. Because most of us watching this live are not billionaires and trillionaires in the 1%. So when we read the blogs, watch YouTube or whatever, we're just like, huh, Walt Disney made another sucky movie, huh? Oh, the Marvels bombed at the box office, or Black Widow bombed at the box office, whatever, 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 whatever. We're like, oh, they lost millions, but we're not thinking how corporations think. What if they're really not losing millions? What if they're actually investing? What if the goal isn't really to make good movies? What if the goal is just to create propaganda? Well, that's money well spent. If the goal is to keep us confused, if the goal is to keep us separated, if the goal is to keep us arguing with each other, if the goal is to fill our head with all of these faulty ideas, and these ideas destroy the family, separate man and woman from each other, so we think that we really are enemies, like one is better than the other. The whole argument of who's better, man or woman, is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my damn life. It's like the right leg and the left leg arguing over each other on who could run faster. Really, really, really? Man and woman arguing about who's better is like the right leg and the left leg arguing about who could beat who in a race. That's how silly that whole argument is. So then I got to thinking. I'm like, we're sitting here thinking they're losing millions of dollars, but we're not playing the game they're playing. No, we are not. No, we are not. We think they're losing money when in reality they're investing. They're investing inside mass confusion. They're investing in keeping us stupid. Are you using the device? The device using you? Does your phone work for you? Does your tablet work for you? Does it keep, you follow what I'm saying? Or are you just digesting nonsense? A whole bunch of people giving advice to a whole bunch of other people, and nobody knows nothing. Then when somebody comes and starts speaking facts, and they actually have degrees, and they actually know the literature, and they actually read, and they start giving us stuff, but it goes against what we're hearing all the time. We want to dismiss them. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Oh, I don't like the way you make me feel. How could a corporation tell stories for 100 years and suck at it? Remember the Lion King? They told the story with a cartoon. And we know that it's a cartoon. We know it's a drawing. We know that Simba isn't real. Scar isn't real. But when Scar put his claws into into the freaking king Mufasa, and inside the king's freaking paws, and said, "Long live the king," and threw him in a cavern, we felt that. Why? Because it's good storytelling. So then they freaking, then after they get on and trust, that's what corporations do. Then they start feeding us trash. Is it possible for them to not be aware? Is it possible for them to, we really didn't know that movie didn't suck? No, not when you got 100 years experience in storytelling. No. Are they losing money? Or are they simply investing? Yeah, they're investing in our confusion. You ever wonder why so many people get it wrong? And I really believe it's due to kind of this arrogance of mankind. We don't really want to accept that the ideas in our head were put there by somebody else. We don't want to be another sheep in the flock. But there is nothing wrong with being humble, and nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I thought this at one time, but right now I don't believe that because I have new information. There's nothing wrong with changing course. You know what? I used to believe this, but then after I got some new information, after I read some books, after I educated myself, after I unplugged from the matrix, now I believe something different. Disney propaganda theory. Could you live without your computer for a week? Could you shut your phone off for 48 hours and not have an anxiety attack? How about the people in your life? Could they live without you for 48 hours? I'm not talking about the babies. I'm talking about the babies. Not talking about the babies. I'm talking about you. Yeah, you. Let's take a breather. We said a lot. Hold on a second. 15 minutes in. We're not gonna be all night on this. The goal of propaganda is to repeat the lie enough times until it's the truth. And I had a conversation with my cousin this evening. And remember that clip about old girl? There was a chick on the internet not too long ago talking about, a man better not take her to the Cheesecake Factory on a first date. And me and my cousin, we actually started doing the math on that. And we're just like, my favorite meal to eat at the Cheesecake Factory is a steak Diane. They got something on the menu called steak Diane. So you figure this is just one. This is no date. This if you went to the Cheesecake Factory on your own merit, and it's like, you know what? I had a hard day at work. It's Friday night. I'm going to the freaking Cheesecake Factory and I'm gonna turn up. So if you ordered a just an entree, let's say this is a steak Diane. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I love red meat and wine. So it's hard for me to give up red meat because I love the combination of red wine, typically a Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm so bougie right now. Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay, steak Diane, bottle of wine, about Cab Sav from Napa Valley, um, appetizer, dessert. How much is that dinner? How much is that dinner? What's that? About a buck, maybe more. Slice of cheesecake at the end to take home, maybe. If you're not full, is that a buck 25, buck 30? We get in the bottle. We get in the bottle. We're not drinking it by the glass. You could easily spend $200 or $300 depending on how much you want to turn up or how expensive the wine you pick. You could easily spend. So this is a first date, which is why that clip went viral. She's just like, "You gonna take me on the first date to the Cheesecake Factory?" Yes, it is a franchise. Yes, it is a franchise. But some of y'all, I'm not judging because really, you like what you like, and if you want to be wined and dined at something extravagant and you want somebody to come out of pocket for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 or $5,000 for a first date, I can't be mad that that's what you like, but that's not the point of this. Who put the point is the Disney propaganda theory is who put that idea in so many people's heads. What's the goal of the first date? What's the goal? We don't even know if we like each other. I don't even know if I want to even be your friend. It's a first date. We're trying to establish what are we going to get to date number two? Beneficial. We don't even know if we like each other yet. So I got to come out of my pocket for more than the Cheesecake Factory price, which is about anywhere from, let's say, if y'all just want to eat some salads to a bottle of wine, dessert, and appetizers, you can spend as little as $120. You can spend as much as $350. Cheesecake Factory on a first date. So if that's not up to par, let's assume that you want me to at least double that. So just to understand if we even are going to like each other, I got to come out of my pocket For 600? Okay. Some could argue you need to just have it like that. Well, you well, oh, you small time, or you don't got six. Well, we don't even know if you like each other, and if I like you, that's no guarantee that you're gonna like me. And that's the first date. Okay, so how's the second date gonna go? What, that we no, we gotta raise the stakes? Oh, we like each other, so now what I gotta do? I gotta pay more? She got to earn that 600. Oh, what's the thank you, beneficial, and what's the get back? What's the get back after I spend six? What's the get back? I shouldn't expect anything? But that's neither here nor there. That's not really the point of this podcast. The point of the podcast is who put that idea in so many people's heads? A lot of these people that have these ideas can't afford to just splurge on a random Friday payday, nonetheless a random Tuesday in between checks. They not spending 150 on themselves for a dinner. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. So we are expecting that which we will never do. We are expecting that which we have never done. That's the entrance fee. Oh, so there's a charge. There's a price. We have a name for those people. But I'm not here to talk about money, cash, money, clothes, and hoes. I'm here to talk about Disney propaganda theory. So, wrapping this up, how can a corporation like the Disney Corporation, which was established in 1923, how could they tell stories for 100 years and make so many trash ass movies where there's an obvious feminist agenda? And I have no problem with feminism when it talks about giving rights to women. What I have a problem with is the other feminist agenda that says that women are the end all and men are idiots. That's the message that I'm talking about. The message that's designed for us to work against each other and not with each other. Okay? There's a total difference. All right? When you showing 110-pound women beating 300-pound men's asses, and all the men in the movie are idiots, they made the Hulk a bitch. They made Thor fat and stupid. They killed Iron Man and they killed Captain America. Men got to go. What happens? She-Hulk. Twerking. She-Hulk is twerking. Really? 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 Disney propaganda theory. They are lying to y'all. They are lying to me. They're lying to us. We think they're losing money. But big bank take little bank. We think it's small. We think when they lose $100 million, we just like, oh man, they losing money. They're gonna turn it around. It's gonna come back to the creators. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. No, they're not losing money. They are investing. And when you keep a population confused and cheap like, that sounds well worth $100 million to me. And while we're here sitting here fighting each other over dumb ish, AI is taking over your job. Why? Because we just couldn't come together. Why? Because I wouldn't spend $600 on a first date. Why? Because you need the motherfucking Cheesecake Factory. Steak dinner is delicious, man. Stop front, man. Who doesn't like the Cheesecake Factory? Who doesn't like the Cheesecake Factory? Okay, it's time to finish this. It's time to finish this podcast. I'm laughing at my own jokes too much. It's time to Mature up for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy big children and little. I am the novelist, author, poet. Actually, fuck that. I am the artist, as my publicist would say. I am the artist known as Graffiti Blue. I'm your main man. They might come for me after this one. They coming for me after this one on Disney. And Disney's not concerned with me. Only if I went viral would they give a shit. So anyway, just thought I would freaking tell you guys, man. On the lookout, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Sassy, my man Wayne shot it. We about to drop plaid polyester pants on Christmas Eve. I'm gonna probably go live in between now and Christmas, man. But if we don't catch each other in this matrix we call the World Wide Web, man, I want to wish everybody a fantastic 2024. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season, man. Be safe out there. All right. Watch your six. They're trying to trick us bad, man. I really don't think the world is a worse place than it was for our parents. But the lie is becoming more effective. They're being more effective at telling the lie because everything is plugged into everything else. So I don't think I don't think we're at the last days. You know, there are a lot of people that disagree with me on that one. But I do not believe we are in the last days. What I believe is that we are fed to believe we are in the last days. But I can't be a man of faith and really believe that dark is more powerful than light. I might be naive as hell for that one. You know what I mean? And none of us might wake up tomorrow, but we gonna win. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? And the darkest night comes before the sunrise. So that's what it is. Be good out there. Enjoy your holiday. Love yourself and spread love to the people who have shown that love to you. Okay? All right, that's it.